good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning, our question and answer Friday. Always a fun time. And hope you're having a great start to your day as we take your questions today. And we appreciate everyone that sent in their questions. And Kevin is saying hello to everyone, not just me, Michael, Jen, our little community here, Andrea, Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, good morning, Brahim, Portland, Oregon, Sandra from Aurelia, Nick from our staff, and Eric, hello, bonjour d'Ottawa, Eric, Micheline, good morning, Jeanette from our staff, Mary, good morning, Nellie, we appreciate you guys. Jeanette, thanks for coming on. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Wendy, good morning. Sharon. And Corrine, New Brunswick, good morning. Gary, Bolton. Brenda. And Brenda said it's been a while. Okay, well, welcome back, Brenda. Valerie. And Diane from Ottawa. Louise, good morning. Yolande, good morning. Elizabeth, good morning. Fran, Orangeville. And Wendy from London. And Jeanette, good morning. Helena, how are you? Deb from Timmins. And Francis from Vaughan. Donna. And Carol, Moncton, New Brunswick. Guys, we get them all over the place. And Jan is saying it's hot in Texas. And Elaine, good morning. Jody, nice to have you on. Francine, Leamington, near Windsor. Brenda. Karen from Kincardine. Good morning. And Susan, bonjour. Olga, New Brunswick. Linda, Sturgeon Falls. And Catherine from Parksville, British Columbia. Frida, good morning. Lori, Cambridge. Dave, Bolton. Elaine, good morning. And Razan, how are you? United Arab Emirates. Well, good morning. Well, what time of the day is it there? Linda, Judy, and Rosa from Montreal. Serpa, yes, Canada won the gold in hockey. Dale, Laurie, and Vicky, good morning from Georgia. Debbie from New Brunswick. Okay, let's get going. Bonnie, how are you doing? And you guys are great. Thank you so much. Josie is wondering if Dr. Martin can explain the link between Hashimoto's and high A1C. Well, look, let's just talk about Hashimoto's first, okay? Hashimoto's is an autoimmune inflammation of the thyroid. The body attacks the thyroid. It's autoimmune. And here is autoimmune in a nutshell. Okay? I have never seen any autoimmune, including Hashimoto's, that doesn't start with leaky gut. Leaky gut, leaky joints, leaky skin, leaky lungs, leaky brain, leaky liver, leaky thyroid. The body turns on itself because there are things in the blood that don't belong there. And antibodies go up. The body recognizes them as being foreign, and now you have a thyroiditis, an inflammation of the thyroid, sometimes even goiter. And with Hashimoto's, everything slows down. The bowel, constipation, the metabolism, fatigue, weight gain a lot of times, depression a lot of times, and everything gets messed up. The thyroid is your gas pedal. It's your metabolism. And it slows to a crawl in Hashimoto's. Look, a lot of people don't even have Hashimoto's in a sense, but they have a sluggish thyroid. And what I do with people with Hashimoto's, you got to start with the gut. And you got to fix leaky gut. Okay, that's really important. And what always happens, you get an invasion of a third army. It's yeast, it's fungal. This is a huge factor in MS. It gets into the brain, the fungus gets into the brain. It can, in Parkinson's, it can carry heavy metals into the brain, like lead, cadmium, mercury. And the thyroid can get messed up. Remember, the liver is an area where T4 is converted to T3. Very important for the thyroid to function properly. And autoimmune, a lot of times you get, okay, leaky gut, you better fix your diet. Don't feed the bears. Don't feed yeast. So I look at it where people have a sluggish thyroid or Hashimoto's. The diet is a huge factor for them. The reset is essential for them. And to cut out sugars and don't feed the bears. So high A1C, yeah, even high cholesterol, but I don't care about that. I really don't. You gotta fix the underlying problem first. Okay, Jose? Fix the underlying problem. It doesn't happen overnight, but that is really, really important to do. Diet is key. Fixing the gut. And again, what I've said, if you go back even another stage, go back to, well, what caused leaky gut? How did I get leaky gut? Well, you could have got that in the placenta. When mommy had leaky gut. And mommy might have been on antibiotics before she got pregnant. And her microbiome was messed up. And the baby's microbiome gets messed up. Children, one dose of antibiotics in a child wipes out their friendly bacteria. They start a dysbiosis. They start leaky gut right away as children. I've always talked about that. Autism is leaky gut. Okay? It's leaky gut. Leaky gut, leaky brain. Garbage getting into the brain. It starts in the gut. Same thing with the thyroid when it comes to Hashimoto's. But the diet does make a big difference, because when you eat low carb, when you get off all the sugars, you're not feeding yeast. Antibiotics are great, 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 except if you don't take probiotics with them, you're wiping out your friendly bacteria. It's the number one cause today of leaky gut, and leaky gut is the number one cause of autoimmune disease, including brain disorders like autism. You know, I always tell my patients, well, autism is leaky gut. And that's why we see so much of it today. The benefits of modern medicine plus the downside of modern medicine. Antibiotics are great to save your life, but they were never meant to be used the way they're used today. We overuse them. They're creating havoc in our society today, and no one talks about it. And doctors still haven't got the memo. Why are you giving antibiotics for a viral infection? Stop. You're creating monsters. And one of the monsters is leaky gut, but the other monster is resistant bacteria. That's why we see so much cellulitis and so many different cellulitis. I remember in the what was that? But today, cellulitis, sepsis is a major, major disaster. Go to the hospital, the most dangerous place in the world. Look, I'm not telling people not to go to the hospital, of course. Right? You have an emergency, go to the hospital. But the problem is in the hospital, and they're the first ones to admit it, there's so much C. difficile. So much C. difficile. And it is difficult, C. difficile, to treat because it's very resistant to antibiotics. It's the overuse of antibiotics. I mean, there's other factors, but that is a big one. Okay? And Eric, pure fish sauce. Is it good? Yes, it's good for you. Remember, I take fish every day. I don't take fish sauce, but I take it in a capsule. But what would be in fish sauce to be so good for you? If it's only fish, well, look, you get almost complete amino acids, all of them. Plus, you're getting a real good oil, okay? You're getting a good oil in fish. Because in the animal kingdom, you get the best omegas. You get DHA, the long chain fatty acid, and you're going to get some EPA. It's a little bit shorter fatty acid, but they are tremendous for your health. So yeah, I never really thought so much about fish sauce. But if you like it, man, it is well recommended on the Reset. Absolutely. Burton. Okay. For Navitol, it says it has OPC super antioxidant. What does the OPC mean? Well, OPC means the polyphenols. Okay, so big words. Pine bark extract is made up of, and this is, I always go back to the story of Jacques Cartier. That's part of our Canadian history, okay? So for my American friends, Jacques Cartier apparently named Canada, Canada. Canada won the gold in hockey yesterday, and the name Canada was given to this country by Jacques Cartier. And he was a French explorer when he came over from France in the 1500s. His men, 25 of them, had died of scurvy on the seas. And when he and the surviving crew came to the St. Lawrence River, they befriended the natives that were here, the indigenous, and they gave him and his men, this is history, a tea. Okay? How do we know that? Because Jacques Cartier wrote about it. He actually wrote in his annals that he was given a tea made up of pine bark. And his men, not only did they not die of scurvy, but he wrote, we felt so much better. Well, turn the clock ahead to the 1950s, and there was a French scientist by the name of Jacques Masquelier. I met the man, very smart. And he was reading Jacques Cartier's annals. And he goes, what's in pine bark? Obviously something like vitamin C. because they got rid of scurvy. And Jean Cartier says, not only got rid of scurvy, man, he didn't even call it scurvy, I'm sure. I don't think he knew what it was. But he said, we felt so much better. I felt so much better. You know what Jacques Mascalier did? When he went back to France, he was a researcher, a biochemist. And he went back to France and he started to do studies on pine bark extract in the south of France. Napoleon had planted, I saw them, I went there, and Napoleon had planted these trees in the south part of France. And Mascalier did research. What he found out was that pine bark extract contained a broad spectrum of OPCs. These polyphenols, proanthocyanins, big words mean nutrients. And he couldn't get over how good this stuff was. How much was in pine bark extract. And he wrote about it. He produced it. He developed ways of producing pine bark extract to make it very powerful. And the rest really is history. And because I had great results with pine bark extract. I was told about it. Try this. It's out of France. Try it with your patients. And that was well over 30 years ago. And guess what? I found it to be very effective. I wrote a book about it. I traveled. Because I wrote a book, in those days when you wrote a book, you got all these TV and radio appearances. I had an agent. And I traveled the world giving interviews on pine bark extract. I studied it. I saw it with patients. And I found it to be quite effective. From the brain to the toes. And so, at the end of the day, pine bark extract is like a multivitamin on steroids. It doesn't really have vitamin C, but it's stronger than vitamin C, just like coffee is. Coffee's not vitamin C, but coffee acts like vitamin C and is better than vitamin C. Think about this for a second, because people run on Google and they go, Dr. Martin's talking about coffee again, and he calls it vitamin C. And I mean it, because it is. And they go on Google and they go, does coffee have vitamin C? And Google says, no. And they go, what is Dr. Martin talking about? Well, the natives, the indigenous, the First Nations, when they gave pine bark extract, it cured scurvy. In the 1500s. Was it vitamin C? Was it an orange they gave them? Nope. They gave them a tea with pine bark extract. So what does that tell you? That's why I always say it, guys. I mean it when I tell you coffee is better than vitamin C. It's better than vitamin C. Why? Because it acts like vitamin C. Plus, it has 1,000 phytonutrients in it. Why am I talking about coffee when I'm supposed to be talking about pine bark extract? Because I like talking about coffee. Pine bark extract is pound for pound one of the best supplements I have ever dealt with. And Navitol means energy. It is fantastic, but it is a polyphenol. It is 50 times more powerful than vitamin C alone. Okay? It is tremendous. OPC, that's what it means, okay? That was a long dissertation, but I like telling stories. Douglas, what do I think of lectins? Well, look, when you go on the reset, you're not having any lectins. Lectins, you know, there's a book out by Dr. Gundry. Okay, whenever just one doctor says it, it doesn't mean it's not true, okay? But Dr. Gundry sort of started this thing about lectins, you know, legumes and stuff like that, that causes leaky gut. Is it true? But, okay, I don't think it causes leaky gut per se, but it can certainly irritate your gut and maybe a contributing factor in leaky gut. And it's one of the reasons, one of many, that I don't want people, when they do the reset for 30 days, I want them to focus in on the animal kingdom, eggs, meat, and cheese, and not the vegetable kingdom or the plant kingdom for 30 days. Am I against plants? No. There's a reason. You know, someone asked me yesterday about kidney health, okay? And I said, well, look, here's Kidneys 101, okay? It's not protein that destroys your kidneys. That is fake news. Protein never, ever, ever, ever destroys kidneys. Sugar does. Insulin does. And especially fructose. High fructose corn syrup is a destructive force to the kidneys. You know what the other ones are? Oxalates. You know what oxalates are? Well, they can form, okay, oxalate stones in your kidneys. Where do they come from? The vegetable kingdom. Okay? Now, again, I'm not saying vegetables are no good, but I want you to take 30 days and not eat them because I want you to not have any lectins. I don't want you to have any glutens. I don't want you to have any oxalates. For 30 days, give your kidneys a rest. You're not going to be having any sugar. So you're giving kidneys a rest. You're going to regenerate the body. You're going to fix a multitude of things. That's why, friend, listen, there's a reason for my madness. I know you think I'm mad. The rest of the world thinks I'm crazy. It's not a popularity contest. It's the truth. Okay? And there's no lectins in eggs, meat, and cheese, by the way. Okay? Claire. Can you discuss Meniere's? Well, Meniere's is a middle of the ear syndrome, causing nausea, causing vertigo, causing... I actually wrote a paper in 1973 on Meniere's. Okay? And I'll tell you what a big factor is in Meniere's is insulin. It's a big factor. Insulin resistance creates inflammation. Inflammation can affect your middle ear. And you want to lower inflammation, you need to lower your insulin. Okay? Now, even in, there can be neck problems causing Meniere's, pinching nerves, especially the cranial nerves. And I mean, there's other factors, but one of them in diet is get your insulin down. Okay, good questions. Thank you. And Carol, can we use egg whites? Yeah, I guess. Why do you want to use egg whites without the yolk? Okay? Egg whites are protein. I ain't got no problem with it. You know, just make sure, read the ingredients, Egg whites, sometimes they put stuff in there, just straight egg whites. I don't know why they do it. But, you know, if you want to use egg whites, okay. I don't know why you don't want to use the whole egg. Maybe somebody tell me that, okay? Somebody tell me that. Egg whites are good. The whole egg, the yolk is better. All your B vitamins are in the yolk, okay? Your taurine, your carnitine, your vitamin A. It's in the yolk, man. That's where the nutrition is, okay? Now, there's some protein in egg whites, but nah, okay? I don't know if I answered your question. Are we allowed cacao butter on the reset? No. It's a plant, and I'm not saying it's not good for you. I'm just telling you, I want you on the animal kingdom for 30 days. Stick to butter. I want you to use lots of butter. Butter is good for you. Real dairy. See, I'm big on dairy, not milk. Okay? Not milk. Unless you have a cow in the backyard. I'm big on dairy. People ditch dairy, and I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not right. Your body needs dairy. Dairy is good for you. But, okay, but not milk. Now listen, if you have an intolerance to cheese and you got leaky gut, because that's how you get an intolerance to cheese, okay? Then you might have to avoid that. Even some people can't even have eggs. I feel sorry for you, but you don't do well with eggs. That's leaky gut, by the way. Don't blame the egg, okay? It's like milk. If we, the government's never going to allow it, so I don't hold my breath. But if we were allowed to drink whole milk, okay? And, the government said, okay, it doesn't have to be pasteurized and you can drink whole milk, okay? I'll tell you, lactose intolerance, which is in about 60-70% of the population, would go away almost overnight, okay? Now, I watch my little great grandson, okay? Okay, I got one great grandson and 3 great granddaughters, okay? And I watched yesterday because I saw my little great grandson. And by the way, when you're great grandparents, you're at the back of the bus, okay? And I don't blame his grandparents because they would jump over a wall to get at that baby, and the great grandparents at the back of the bus, okay? But what I'm saying is, mommy's breastfeeding that little boy, okay? He's 10 months old. You know what he drinks besides mommy's breast milk, which is the best thing in the world? That's exactly what God wants you to do. Water. They're weaning him on water. So when he gets off mommy, what he'll drink is water, not juice, not milk, water. Wean the kids on water. Okay? Wean the kids on water. And then, when they can eat, give them cheese. Because they're going to get dairy. Okay? They don't need milk, especially in the grocery store. Because by the time that milk gets to the grocery store, it has become white Pepsi. Very, very sugary. The fat mostly has been taken out. And that's what that denatures. Why do we see? It denatures milk. Why do we see so much lactose intolerance today? It's crazy. Kids don't need grocery store milk. Don't let them touch it. Oh, well, Dr. Martin, what am I going to have my cereal with? Well, don't eat cereal. How's that? Okay, Lori, I have a compound, hemochromatosis, and can I still do the reset? Whoa, Lori, why not? Hemochromatosis, the liver is gummed up big time, and your blood is thick as molasses. The reset empties your liver. It's one of the treatments that I give for hemochromatosis. You can go get blood and get blood out, right? Go take, they take blood out of your body. Am I against that? I guess if it's so high. But I like emptying the liver. And the reset, one of the first things that happens is you empty your liver. Of course you can do it. Okay, good question. Marilyn, or hold it. Sanjana, what do I think about high antibodies? Well, I think I talked about them this morning when I talked about Hashimoto's. High antibodies in the body is a sign of autoimmune. Something is off and it's in the gut. You have to start there. Sanjana, okay? Start in the gut. Really makes a difference with those antibodies. The body's turning on itself because of the invasion of the Third Army. Okay. Marilyn, what's my thought on ashwagandha? Well, I love ashwagandha. I have it in my cortisol formula. I have it in my inflammation formula. I love ashwagandha. On its own, meh. I like mixing it. I found when you compound it with others, you get better results. That's why, I always talk about that, guys. I don't mind tooting my horn. I'm going to toot my horn right now. The Martin Clinic products were used in a clinical setting. Probiotics, I had to get results. And like cortisol formula. I had to get results because I measured cortisol. I had to get it down. If you take ashwagandha, yeah, it comes down a bit. But when you put it with other things, it came down even more. That's me. That's why I do that. I never copy a formula, and a lot of people copy my formulas. And my son, Tony Jr., Doc Jr., is very, very smart biochemist. Okay? Very, very smart. And we put our noggins together on these formulas. Okay? But yeah, I love ashwagandha. Okay, Christine, my triglycerides and HDL is good. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. If you have good triglycerides and HDL, that's a good thing. Okay? That's a good thing. Okay? Now, my CPR is now down to, or it's up to 1, used to be 0 5 years ago. Could inflammation be caused by an increase in stress and also causing my A1C to go up? Yep. Cortisol, okay, here's what cortisol is. Cortisol is, and a lot of people, millions and millions of people, have high cortisol, especially in the day and age in which we live. We live in a different world, my friend. And there's so much more people that are stressed. And here's what stress does. It does a lot of things. But here's what cortisol does. Remember what cortisol is. And if I scare you, cortisol is normal. You're going to secrete some cortisol. You're going to secrete some adrenaline. You're going to punch me or you're going to run. That's the fight or flight. But if it goes on and on and on, boy, oh boy, that's very destructive inside the body. Because what cortisol does, it pours gasoline on the fire of inflammation. So if you got high insulin, right? You got high insulin because you're a carboholic. And then you add stress, cortisol. It's going to pour gasoline on the inflammation fire. It's going to be more destructive. It can affect your gut. It can affect your energy. It can affect your A1C. Yep. Because your body is, your blood sugar is going up. And your A1C is going to go up. Even though you're eating well. So eat well. Don't stop that. But you also need, Christine, to take care of that stress. Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what cortisol does. Joanne, can you speak on keto itch? My back gets extremely itchy. Well, look, I don't know about keto itch, okay? And I'm not big, Joanne. I'm sorry. I'm not a keto person. I'm not. I never was, and I never will be. I don't like keto per se, because a lot of people talk to me about keto. Doc, that's a keto. The eggs, meat, and cheese is a keto diet. No, it's not. No, it's not. A keto diet is very low carb, but it allows for a lot of keto foods, which I don't like. They're artificial foods, a lot of them. Yeah, they're low carb, but I don't like that stuff. And so keto itch, I don't know if I can talk about it because I'm not big on a keto itch, but I'll tell you what causes an itch. Unexplained itchiness is usually in your back or on your skin, is usually your thyroid is talking to you. Okay, that's been my experience. Two things, your thyroid, and you have, Joanne, insulin resistance, because that's another factor in itchiness on the skin. Thyroid, itchy. Slows down, itchy. Sluggish thyroid. And insulin resistance, or both. Okay? Again, keto itch. Is there such a thing? I don't know. You're giving me a new term today. Now, I heard about the keto flu, but I haven't heard about the keto itch. Okay? And maybe I'm going to go Google it, see if it's, I never heard of it, honestly. Sandra, what can my sister do for osteoporosis? Well, number one, start eating eggs, meat, and cheese. Number two, vitamin D. Make sure vitamin D levels are really optimized. Okay? Number three, not calcium, but vitamin K2. So when you eat cheese, you're getting vitamin K2. K2 takes calcium from cheese and puts it in your bones. That's why cheese. Why do you think I talk about cheese all the time? Why is it part of why are butter and cheese part of the reset? Vitamin K2. The Rodney Dangerfield of vitamins. Because people don't even know what they're K1. Well, you get a lot of K1. Dr. Martin, when I eat my salad, my spinach. I know, but you're not getting K2. K2 is in the animal kingdom when you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, steak, and butter, and cheese. Cheese curds has the highest source of vitamin K2. So you got osteoporosis? Do that. Now, the third one, vitamin E. You got weak bones, you need strong muscles. Strong muscles, strong bones. Okay? Walking won't do it. Walking's good, but it won't help osteoporosis. You need to get strong. Tell your sister I said so. Build muscle. And I don't care how old you are, you can build muscle. You're 90 years old, you can build muscle. Did you know that? Yep. Okay, let's get going because I'm getting slow here. Darlene, if you are hypothyroid or no thyroid, you should not be eating peanuts. Well, you shouldn't eat peanuts anyways, but I like peanut butter. You should increase carrot intake. Who told you that, darling? You're trying to say don't eat peanuts, but eat carrots. Why? Okay, I want to know why. Okay, is the peanuts because it got lectins in it? And carrots because it got beta-carotene? I like carrots, but I like steak better. Steak is better than carrots for vitamin A. Your thyroid needs vitamin A. But I don't know where you're coming from, okay? Carrots are supposed to be better for thyroid. Man, I honestly, when you hear about carrots, you hear about your eyes, right? That's what my mom used to tell me. Eat your carrots, it's good for your eyes. Well, yeah, steak is better for your eyes, so is fish, okay? But, yeah, carrots are good. I like carrots, okay? Don't eat carrot cake. Okay. Kathy's asking a good question. I was diagnosed with diabetes type 2 28 years ago, and my A1C has never been at low levels. Is that brain damage reversible? You better bet your boots, Darlene. Okay? Oh, no, sorry, that's Kathy. Bet your boots you can reverse. Your body is fearfully and wonderfully made. And if you take care of it, it's amazing what you can do. That's why I'm so huge on the reset, because it regenerates. I don't care how old you are. It will help your liver. If it helps your liver, it helps your metabolism. It helps your A1C. It helps your triglycerides. It helps your HDL. It lowers inflammation. It helps your kidneys. It helps your brain. And get on high DHA. Absolutely, Kathy, you have to do that. Okay? Rita, the last few days, loose stool, gallbladder. I don't have a gallbladder. Well, there you go, Rita. So watch your fat intake. You don't have a gallbladder. Now, you're still making bile, okay? So when you don't have a gallbladder, your liver makes bile. Your gallbladder never makes bile. It was just a reservoir for bile. Now, if you, usually what I find, you have to start slowly on the reset for people in terms of its fat, not the protein, but its fat content. Be a little bit more careful, Rita, and that could be that, okay? Be a little bit more careful with that. Yvonne, does B6 and B vitamins get stored in the liver, therefore unhealthy? Well, no, it's not unhealthy. That's one of the functions of your liver, to store vitamins. Even B12 is stored in the liver. No, your liver, don't worry about your liver. When your liver gets gummed up, it's not because it's gummed up with vitamins, it's gummed up with fat. With fat. Because of carbs. And ungum it. Degum it. No, your liver is meant to store vitamins. Okay? Karen, dry eyelids. You better use more DHA and probiotics, because it's usually a fungus. The eyelids is usually a fungal. Leaky gut, leaky eyes, lids. Okay. And I mean it. Okay, and last one, Louise. Okay, you're asking about granulomatosis, a form of vasculitis. Yeah, what about it? I have this on top of my brain of MS. Well, you know what, Louise? Give me a little bit. What do I know about it? Okay. Well, there's a lot of autoimmune involved in that. And today's been an autoimmune day, hasn't it been? So, fix the gut comes from leaky gut. Now, there can be some genetic factors there, but generally it's leaky gut, and it helps a lot when you clean that up, okay? Guys, thanks for the questions today. You guys are great. We appreciate it. Now, listen, I'm making an announcement for Monday. For the next few months, Mondays and Thursdays, going to do afternoon programs. That's what I'm starting next week. Mondays and Thursdays, we'll put postings up. Mondays and Thursdays, afternoon sessions at 4 p.m. Okay? That's what I'm planning. Are there going to be exceptions to that? Maybe. We'll see. Okay? But we'll keep you posted. Okay, guys, we love you. Talk to you dearly. No, talk to you soon.